Welcome to Worlds Collide, a wrestling card podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, featuring Tony Vella from WrestlingTradingCards.com.
This is like a stock market.
And Zhan Morning from Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, I'm just posing the question. Join them as they navigate the world of wrestling cards, helping you build a bigger and better collection and making some money along the way. We're good?
Yeah.
What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to Worlds Collide, back again. And Tony, I've got 4 words for you. Fanatics is taking over. The Fanatics world order is here to stay.
It's true, man. It's just it's been a crazy week. At the time of this recording, it's been a crazy week. It's just we're in March.
Let's go back to January and think like, oh, this AEW stuff, Prism announcement, just the announcement.
Yeah.
This is going to be, this craziest month we've had in wrestling cards history. Well, fast forward 2 months, 3 months into 2022, and this is just chaos.
Everything it's come up since the new year. Everything's like, January says, oh no, I've got a big announcement. Then February goes, no, hold my beer. And then March goes, no, you guys both hold my beer. I mean, I'm waiting to see what's happening in April.
Yeah, no kidding. I think most of us, we've been saying that 2022 is going to be the biggest time for wrestling card history.
Yep.
I still believe it.
Me too.
We're starting to see people tagging me and stuff that I've never met. Some of these people I've never talked to in my life, and they're either wanting to sell me cards or they have questions about Prism, or there's just people are kind of coming out of the woodwork. I don't know if it's a FOMO thing, and we can kind of get into that as we're talking. But what was your initial thoughts when you heard this announcement for Fanatics now taking over several WWE properties, essentially?
Well, it's shocking. I mean, really. I mean, I immediately jumped on and had a quick episode with Adam Gilman talking about this, and it's just it's shocking. It's like we've never seen something like this before in any hobby. Like
no.
It's equivalent to like Brian Gray said, from Leaf.
Like most of the time, if it might be announced that a business is taking over like a few days before the other one goes out of business, not several years, because I mean Panini's got
it's like what they say, like Brian Gray from Leaf is like it's equivalent to like already announcing who your next wife's going to be at the day of your wedding of your current wife.
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing something along those lines, but it's just like it's unheard of. It's like for some, it's like, oh well, you took all the thunder out of Panini's big release like that, and it's like, okay, maybe that's true to some people, but I don't think so. I think it's going to have the exact opposite effect of that. I think it's going to just drive up Panini's the demand for Panini product. I mean, now we know that we have a finite amount of time that we're going to have X amount of Prism sets. So already a low print run a part of the hobby, which is wrestling, and now you have a limited time frame, as long as you release for a certain amount of time. That is like, and you know in advance, well in advance. Like how often do you get to have that kind of information? You don't.
No.
It's like legal insider trading information.
Sort of. Yeah. And not. I mean, Adam said on your show, and at the time of recording today, the video came out that I had him on my channel, Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. Make sure to check it out. Please subscribe. But he said the same thing. He was like, we've never had this point, even up to now. This was before we even knew about the Fanatics thing. We had all this information that you could see what was happening with Prism, with the sports, with the UFC, leading into wrestling. You know what's going to happen. You know what prices are going to be. And it's just what you said. It was like almost having some form of insider trading, just if you were paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to say on this that I saw a lot of people complaining about, and I think it's idiotic, to be honest with you, is this is dampening the parade, so to speak, of Prism. And everybody's like, oh, let's going back to Topps. Topps is blah, whatever. Here's my thing. How many blips on the radar in the history of wrestling cards have we seen where those blips of the radar end up being the most valuable things there are? All-Stars. Look at some of that rare action-packed stuff. I'm going to say 1998 WCW Topps was a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
Fleer was a blip on the radar. I mean, like, other than Topps, which had you know, a little bit in the 80s and then a long run in the mid 2000s. There's so many blips in the radar, and that has not dampened the popularity or the prices of those cards at all. And I think
Hmm.
Prism is going to be that times 10.
Yeah, I agree. And then we also have like people who want to complain that they've been priced out, which we've been beating that
Sure.
whole
Yeah.
thing down to death. And so there's just no other way around that discussion, I guess. But um, it's for people who feel like they're out, they're not out. So I never make any blatant comments about anybody who past collectors and how they collect and what they collect, that they're done. That's not true. These guys are very smart people, or gals are very smart people. They know what they want to collect, and if you want to still collect, there's still ways to collect. So, is this going to be above your normal price range? Absolutely going to be above your price range. Is there other ways for you to possibly collect, like people who are set collectors? You still buy sets. They're going to be a
Right.
little bit pricier than normal, but I
Do what
think you're still going to,
Chuckster's doing and go back and
yeah,
put together your old ones.
yeah. I mean, he's like, you know what? I get it. I know. And it gives me now an opportunity to go back and fill the holes and things I want to go back to. And he's having fun doing it. So it's
Right.
not like he's not going to be out of the hobby. You're not going to price guys like Chuckster or Paul out of the hobby. You're just not going to do that.
I
They'll
Yeah,
find ways to continue to keep collecting.
I'm with you. I don't understand that attitude at all. Like, everybody's talking shiny stuff. I'm over here still trying to put together the All Stars autographed set,
Yeah.
and you know, trying to do this and that and buy and sell. Like,
Well, let's be honest. I mean, that's the equivalent of being shiny. Come on.
I don't know. I
just
mean, I
just
think
because it's not physically shiny, it's still.
I just don't think it's my favorite set in the world. I don't care what anyone else says. It's my favorite. It's the wrestling card set, and I think the tide's kind of turning on that. We can talk about that in another show. I think,
Yep.
you know, the popularity of that, they still sell, but just from the stuff I see. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm personally super bullish on Panini Prism, and we'll see what happens with the other Panini releases, as Adam talked about. Like, there's still going to be affordable stuff out there, Chronicles
Yep.
and Select and all that stuff. I think they're going to be great looking cards. I'm gonna, you know, buy them as I can. But the Prism, as like the initial Prism release, is just going to be huge. I'm again super bullish on it. Let's talk about something I'm not so bullish about, and that is NFTs. WWE is supposed to have this Moonsault platform, and I
Hmm.
talked to Adam about that, and I was like, hey, they're going to have this. Maybe it could be like a Top Shot thing. They're going to do the Panini digital cards, which me and you both saw the huge rise in the acceptance of digital trading cards within the
Yep.
wrestling card community with the Tops app. I was like, this could be cool because you can actually buy and sell with real money, not just, you know,
Hmm.
fake tokens. And then I've kind of, you know, if Fanatics has taken this over, they've already said on sports side they're fully going to integrate digital into their brands.
Yeah,
So
and it's happening with WWE. It was part of the announcement. It was
right,
both digital and physical.
right. So at that point, does Panini hasn't even announced anything digital, and this Moonsault thing hasn't even got off the ground yet. That makes me not want to put a dime into either one of those. What do you think?
I agree, because I want to wait and see what's going to happen. I mean, really, I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything. I mean, I haven't heard anything. Like I said, nothing from Panini's digital sites like that. Maybe
No.
they don't do it at all. What's
Yeah,
the
and
point?
I think the Moonsault platform was supposed to be launching like this week, and I still have not heard anything on it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either, but I know very little about it, to be honest with you. But it would be better from the NFT side if it's going to be collections of things where I can
Yes.
actually get things, as opposed to being one else. Like, you and I both jumped in on that Undertaker thing,
Hmm.
and I'm still very happy that I did.
Same.
I'm, I just think that might be the only one-off that I'll probably invest into like that. I'd be more interested in doing some sort of NFT slash
A
digital type
collectible,
of
essentially. Yeah.
collectible.
Hmm.
Yes, that would be more something that would entice me to want to collect and dip and put money into that.
Agreed. I was fully expecting to at least dabble with both the Panini digital side and the Moonsault thing, specifically the Moonsault, because it was new. And I was like, if they could do, it said something about moments in wrestling history. And I'm like, okay, so
Yeah,
they're probably going to go with the Top Shot thing, which I think is cool, specifically the wrestling. Like, you know, if you had some kind of gold sparkly moment of Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off the top of the cage, like
sure.
that's never going to get old. And trying to
No.
put you could put a set together of those things. I personally think it's cool. I know a lot of people don't. But this news with Fanatics taking over takes me completely out of that. I will not be buying any.
Because their digital one now is what, Candy something, right?
Candy. And
Yeah.
you know, they could, who knows what they, if they're taking in tops, do they bring back the slam apps? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. And that's
I
why I'm
talked to
just,
Adam about that as well too. If it was ever going to come back, it would probably be a completely redesigned type of thing. It's not going to be, it ain't going to be what it was if it
Right.
is. So I'm still using, even though what's today is
today
when we
was the
record.
last day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, actually in 2 more
tomorrow.
days. Tomorrow, 31st would be the last day. So I'm still actively every day, because it's part of my habit. I go in there and I've got over 2 million coins. I don't know what to do with, and like,
Yeah.
just gonna, like, oh, maybe they're gonna drop something special. Like, we're gonna blow everything wide open on the last day. Here, have it, have at it. So I'm like, I'm waiting the last day to start spending all my coins. And, so there's people on there. Not a single person today or yesterday talked about anything on the trade forum, which is the only actual discussion forum you can go on to on the app, talking about like, hey, it's coming back, or it has a chance of coming back possibly now. Nobody, not a single person, nobody.
Well, we know they're going to do something digital. I'm a big digital guy. I am selective. Like, I only own a couple of NFTs. I'm kind of with you. Like, I like it. Again, let's go back to Top Slam. If you just put real money into play where you can buy, sell, and trade, I'm in. That's all. Like, that's all they got to do, and I'll be in.
That's all it was missing for me as far as like really putting money into it was, I'm not going to buy diamonds so I can buy something that I can't ever turn into something physical if I want to, or transfer it without, for free or in a trade without any type of like compensation of it, some kind of financial compensation for it, whether it be through something like Ethereum or whatever the hell you want to use. Right. It's all it was missing before I said, okay, I will buy some diamonds, or I'll buy whatever the hell I'll buy stuff because I can actually trade. And you know what? I'm going to cash out. I want to go have my physical copies now. It's like that. It would have been nice. I think it's a missed opportunity.
One other thing I want to touch on, guys, also at the time of this recording, we just kind of threw this together because we thought it was topical and we needed to say our opinions on it. But the other thing I want to talk about is specifically with Prism and the Prism release, that checklist. Oh my gosh, it could be like one of the best checklists I've ever seen.
I think it really is one of the best checklists out there, period. I mean, there are some names missing off it. Yeah. I thought it was kind of odd of all the McMahons. You have Shane on there. Like,
especially
I don't know.
right now when he's supposedly not with the company or whatever.
Exactly. So, I mean, these obvious things were obviously in play for quite a while, but I think that there's a missed opportunity with having like maybe all the McMahons on one car as a quad, this kind of thing. Just all kinds of things like that. But overall, doesn't take away from the fact that it's still the most impressive checklist that I've ever seen of any wrestling cards. I mean, ever.
It's a total package. It's got your top modern guys. I mean, Superstar Billy Graham is signing, and like he's got an autograph card in this. When's the last time we saw Superstar Billy Graham with anything? And half the people listening this probably don't even know who that is, sadly.
Leaf probably.
How about Dusty Rhodes? Could you find a gold parallel with the polka dots? Come on, that's amazing. That would be great. I love the inserts. I mean, we got Color Blast. I think it's Relentless or something like that was one of the subsets with inserts. And again, the sticker autos. I know nobody's a fan of that, but
let's be perfectly frank about that. By the way, this is not a product that's being driven by autographs. Autographs are actually the low end tier chasing this.
100%.
Outside of your Roman Reigns and your top tier people. Your top tier people are going to be top tier across the board, from base to the high end. That's just who they are. But for the most part, no one's chasing this product for autographs. They're chasing for parallels.
Yeah, and that's something I think we've probably both seen it. People within the traditional wrestling card community aren't really understanding the same as the people who are in the sports cards and see that gold prisms sell for 6 figures or whatever. So, and not the autographs. In fact, a lot of the super high end collectors within sports cards, they're not really that big of a fan of the autographs for multiple reasons, be it sticker or kind of the shady stuff we see about other people signing. Sure. And one of the complaints I saw on Discord was like, Panini doesn't understand wrestling collectors, and my response is like, they're a business. They're not really doing this for you, and
they're not in business to understand what your collecting habits are for you as a wrestler. Right. Wrestling. Actually, I take that back. They're not in business to appease wrestling fans. They're in business to sell product Bottom line,
they've done it
period.
for all these other
Yeah,
these sports franchises
sure.
and licenses. They know what they're doing. They'll pull
Yeah,
it off.
yeah.
And the numbers are showing from the sales that we've already seen on pre-orders. But one other thing I am just like really interested to see what's happened. I don't know that I'm going to partake in this, maybe, maybe not, but we officially have the rookie card badge on some rookie cards. You think we're
Yep.
going to start seeing some actual prospecting going on within wrestling? It's pretty
I think
dangerous
so.
game.
I do. I think so. I think people who they hold true to that, like, oh, it's got the RST logo on it. Yeah, I'm interested in that now. That's how people think. I mean, I don't think that way anyways. I mean, we've seen it with Tops. Tops done it many times before, but I don't know. But I mean, especially with the new crop of people now. I mean, I've seen everybody, you know, doing backflips over, Braun Breaker and stuff like that.
When's the last time a wrestling product came out that they were like, we're chasing this wrestler's rookie card and it's the official actual like
Yeah,
it? I can't remember, a little bit of AEW maybe, but not. I mean, they still didn't have a logo that says
didn't have a
rookie card,
logo, but and a lot of those guys already had previous cards too.
right? Yeah, I'm just super excited to see where this goes now. Am I going to be buying stuff? I'll probably pick off some singles here and there. I'm going to hopefully get a box of Prism to just sit on because, as you can see behind me, I like to just have sealed wax. I think it's cool. It's like a cool collectible, and I'm not really attached to it, and it's going to probably go up in value overall. But I won't be ripping any boxes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'll be
I
buying some
actually,
singles.
since first started talking to you and then developing our friendship over the year and stuff like that, years, whatever it is now, I started collecting and keeping seal boxes now too. So I've got pretty much all the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 Tops releases seal boxes behind me.
I just think you
I've
can't go
got I got
wrong with them.
I got AEW boxes sitting behind me as well, and I
Same.
mean, I'm in
Well,
no hurry.
is there anything that we haven't touched on that you think we should cover as far as just? I mean, there's all kinds of details that are going to come out as the time goes
Sure.
on, but I just thought it was probably pretty topical that we get a quick episode out about our kind of thoughts and opinions because
Yeah, it's fresh.
as we both saw, there was a lot of thoughts and opinions across the board on this and on
Oh
both
yeah,
sides. So
yeah. I mean, it's funny how you have conversations talking about specific products, and then a lot of how do I even word this correctly? There's just this product and Panini jumping in and the way Panini does things has really started to create a bigger divide now within the hobby that we've never really
it's
had before.
polarizing.
It is polarizing, which is a
Yeah.
great word for it. And that could be a whole different topic for itself. But yeah, it's just as a long time, like, decades long wrestling card collector. Um, it's fun. Whether
Yeah.
I collect stuff or not, like, I'm not going to suffer from any FOMO for not buying a box of Prism. Just not going to. Would I like to buy a box and have a box? Yeah, probably. It'd be just kind of fun
Sure.
to rip open or even sit on, possibly. If
Yeah.
I happen to stumble across one, my local card shop says, "Hey, I got you a great deal on one." Maybe I'll pick
Sure.
one up. I don't know, but just for me, gathering the information of this is just going to be a headache already as it is. So
Yeah. Like
we
50
we know that
parallels.
we know that one thing that Panini's products, especially Prism, is going to do to affect WTC is it's going to change the formatting of our checklists of their products, because
Okay.
there's just no way when we already have these gargantuous checklist of Tops and go back to the TriStar era stuff of these long checklists of all these parallels. Because like, oh, we want to make sure it's all there so people can check mark and check mark and check mark. It's like that. That's not going to happen going forward with Panini. Now it's going to be like, here is our certain autographs, and then below that will be just like you see on all the other checklists.
The parallels and
yep, numbered in 199, 199, number 50, just like that, and one checklist for all of it. That's it.
makes sense to me.
It's just not valuable use of space on the website to do that kind of stuff and for people to keep scrolling. And what it end up might doing is it might make me go back and have to go back and re-edit all the other old checklists and kind of put them into
Something
shrink
similar
up.
to it.
I'm a big fan of keeping things uniformity there. So, but we'll
Makes
see.
sense to me.
So it's not only just changing, people who have the collect, it's changing the information being provided and things like that too. So it's the whole market is changing. The whole industry is changing.
I'm excited. I like seeing stuff change. I like seeing new and exciting things. I'll be cheering on everybody going after the one of ones and
Sure.
the
I
gold
can't
prisms
wait to
and
see
like
that first one come up and just like I think there should be like an ongoing bet, like a pool, and have it people like, you know
we should
what?
we should start seeing them pretty quick. I already saw some pictures across social media right before we
Yep,
got on here. People had
yep,
already had open boxes, so
yep.
we should start seeing those pulled pretty quick. But that's all I got. Let everybody know
Same.
where they can find you, anything you got going on, or any kind of parting words you've got on this.
Just check out wrestlingtradingcards.com. Everything there is on the bottom of every page for all of our social media and how to get a hold of us, the contact form, everything like that. And keep an eyeball on the stuff going on with the checklist. Lots of updates and upgrades are going on right now. Formats and images. Lots of images have already been put up there. So go search around and see what you find.
And you can find everything I'm doing, Wrestling with Cards, on YouTube is kind of the main hub. I've kind of scaled back on my personal podcast, another topic for another time. And you can check me out on social media at Zhan Morning, pretty much all platforms. And before we get out of here, again, I want to say thank you to everybody that listens to us, supports us. We're seeing more and more tags in social media on Twitter, Instagram, people shouting us out. They like our podcast or just sending us DMs. Hey, you guys are helping me get through the workday. Whatever it is, we just, again, thank you guys for all the support. And until next time, keep being a collector and having fun in this hobby. Don't get so bent out of shape about all these curmudgeons that are all there's a time and a place to be negative, but overall, it's up to you if you want to stay in the hobby. Find a way to have fun and keep going. Thanks, guys. Please subscribe on whatever you're listening to this on. Give us a thumbs up, review, whatever it is. Spread the word. We'll see you.